Hey ladies, Sharon's here. How are you? Hope you're having a great week. I am so glad to be back with you. We're just blowing out these videos one by one, right girlfriends? By the way, have any of you guys noticed all the new girls joining our group? Our community. Boy, there's quite a few of them. So we're going to have to run over and give a bunch of shout outs, but we'll get around to that, right ladies? Okay. This is Q&A day, and you know me, I try to put together as many as I can as fast as I can. But I have a few that they chose for me this week, so we're going to start off with number 1. Dear Sharon, what do you think about long-winged eyeliner on mature women? What do I think about long-winged eyeliner? Well, what do you think I think about? It's tacky. You know, we can't be the 20-year-olds on Instagram. Not gonna happen. And when we try, we look absolutely ridiculous. Now, this is my opinion. It's like a-holes. Everybody's got one. But I'm telling you, I think you guys will agree with me, the rest of the mature community here. To have a slight wing out is terrific. But when you start using like jet black eyeliner or black pencil and you're bringing it out to here, that's just too much for the mature woman. As a matter of fact, what we try to do is to smudge it out smooth. A lot of mature women use eyeshadow. Some use eyeshadow that's dipped in their brush in a damp brush and it makes a pretty line. Some use lighter colors. We can use gray, we can use a light brown, we can even use black as long as we, smudge it to work into our eyelashes. So, we're not here to be an Egyptian queen. We're not here to try to outdo the 20-year-olds. And, what we're trying to do is stay sassy, classy, and confident. Okay, number 2. Dear Sharon, what is the most embarrassing moment that you have ever had while you were on the road? Oh, I can't even believe this came up. Leave it to my staff. I know they pull this one off, let me tell you. Well, okay. I was in the Mid-Cities area. And I don't think I'll ever forget this as long as I live. But I always had a problem on the road because I didn't get but an hour and a half to 2 hours sleep most nights. And I was running and coaching with people and speaking and TV, radio, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this went on, the whole entire week in every city. I would get so exhausted and tired, and I developed this terrible habit of sleepwalking. So my manager told all my secretaries, be sure you put a chair or a bench up against the main door of the room she's sleeping in because she does sleepwalk. Well, of course, me and all my secretaries, I call them secretaries from hell. That's one of my books that I wrote. It's hysterical. But back to the story. This new secretary forgot, when I went to bed to bar that door. And so, when you're on the road, it's just us girls, so you can either sleep in the buff, back then we wore our little teddies, or, our little short t-shirts, or whatever. I mean, we're crashing, we're women, okay? Who cares? Well, I just so happened to have on this purple lace teddy at the time. Yes, it did happen. I started to sleepwalk, and I went all the way down to the lobby, and apparently, according to the door people and the desk people, I started walking out the front door towards the highway, and people were honking and honking. I think that's kind of what brought me to, and they had to come get me and take me back upstairs. So if you don't think this didn't give fuel to my DJs that I worked with and the people in all my, in the city that I was doing TV interviews with, this was the talk of the week. Trust me. Embarrassed? I was beyond embarrassed. I just wanted to die right there on the spot, but leave it to Sharon to get into these situations, right, girlfriends? So that was the most embarrassing I ever had in my whole life, not just on the road, let me tell you. Okay, number 3. Dear Sharon, did you have any pain with any of your injectables? That's first part of the question. Second part is, and how many procedures have you had done to your face? Okay, first of all, let me tell you what I have had done to my face. Back in and I think we tried to figure it was around 91 or 93, I had the same procedure that you just saw Lisa D have. I had my eyes done. They removed the little fat pad up here where you're trying to get a hood, and they removed the fat part under here where you're getting the puffiness. And it smooths out the lines and your eyes open up, you have no more hood and blah, blah, blah. Of course, you know, plastic surgery doesn't last forever. So needless to say, I sure need it again. But that was one procedure. The next procedure I had done were my lips. I had my lips injected one time with silicone. And this was back in... I think that was in 92 or 2002, I think it was. Yeah, 2002. I had my lips injected, and then they poked a little here, poked a little here, poked some here. They did not go underneath. They went straight on top, and they filled in what I had. I think I used a whole syringe, and that's quite a bit, by the way. So, yeah, I had my lips injected by a fabulous doctor, and he was actually in town, and he was from South America. So he had an excellent rep, and I was dying to get in there. So he did good lips. So yes, did I have pain? Absolutely not. Now let me explain to you why. Well, I don't know why, but let me explain to you what happened. They just put, you know, topical numbing stuff on, like a lidocaine, and I waited 20 minutes. And they wipe all that off, and then they start injecting. It's much like when they inject here with your Juvederm down your nasopharyngeal lines. You know, they can leave you sitting there, you know, with lidocaine on, and you wait, and they come in. No, I felt nothing, absolutely nothing. The only time I ever feel anything at all is every once in a while when I'm getting my Botox in my 11s, and right up here at the forehead, every once in a while I might flinch like that. It's like a little poke. But the needle is so tiny and so thin. And then they do 3 little injections here. And that is because it's supposed to take care of your crow's feet lines. Now, one thing about you have to understand about Botox, and let's get this straight right off, it's not going to remove every line in your face. That's not exactly what it's for. It numbs the muscles that are creating all your expression lines. It softens them out. And believe me, it does. It'll soften these out. It'll soften these. So it's kind of like they're like, I'm going to use the word kind of dead or still or frozen, you know, so you don't create all that. But remember, Botox you have to have done usually every, some people can go, I can go almost 6 to 7 months now because I've been having Botox for 2 years. But actually you're only going to be able to go probably about every 3 to 4 months possibly. And that's it. Now that's all the main procedures. Now as far as cosmetic procedures, I've had my eyebrows tattooed 2 times in my lifetime. Horror story each time because you know, it's kind of like an injector when they start filling you with Botox or Juvederm or anything. You better have a great injector. It's kind of like a tattoo artist, the gal that does the cosmetic makeup. God, my mind's being blown today. You have to have a real artist to do it correctly because it's not just one procedure, it's several procedures. And then after that, you keep going in and they keep filling in as it starts to fade or what have you. Now, everybody says, since you had such a bad time twice, are you going to go back and do it again? Oh, yeah, because I found someone that is an absolute phenomenon. She's like 3 times the price that when I had it done, but you know, you get what you pay for, and she's got a great rep. She's the one that did Dominique's eyebrows in Houston. So, Yeah, she's probably going to be the one that's going to redo mine. We have to take off all the old tattoo, and that's one procedure, and you wait until all that heals, stops flaking, and does all this, and then she starts first procedure, then there's second, third, and so forth. So yeah, it goes in steps, and that's the way it should have been done the first time. Okay, but no, nothing really hurt at all. Not even when I had my eyebrows done, they didn't hurt. So I haven't had any pain as far as when I had my eyes done. Of course, you know, they kind of put you out for that, so you don't, you know, feel anything per se with your eyes. So no, everything was lovely. Okay, next thing. And by the way, I would like to, let me interject this right now. Whenever you have any kind of procedure done, if I've told you once, I've told you 500 times, it's the injector. It's not the product, it's the injector. Make sure whoever's doing, you've done your homework, that you have looked at all the pros and cons with this person. Make sure you look at the comments, make sure you look at their portfolio. If you've got a good derm or a good plastic surgeon that you have worked with before and you trust them and they're great, that's who you want to go to. You want to stick with who you can trust. The injector or the artist, as I call them, that's majorly important. Do your homework first. Okay, are you going to get any more procedures done? Yes, I'm getting ready to have another procedure done, but this one's a little different. When I went to the derm's office, 2 weeks ago, you know, to do my yearly mole check and had her, you know, on my hand, I had 3 little 8 spots and she froze it. And they're almost healed, look at that. They're almost gone, yay. But she froze 3 little 8 spots on my hands because, you know, oh, imperfection. And so we were talking about my eyes. No matter what I do for my under eyes, they're still getting the crepey and the lines. Because I'm 67 years old. Hello! And, you know, you can use so much eye cream, and yes, that has helped. The particular eye creams and treatments that I've done have been fabulous. However, it's not fabulous enough for me. So I was talking to her and she said, let's do the Resurf X. Okay? Resurf X. And she said what it is, it's a type of fractional laser. And we just go right up under the eyes with it. She said we'll do 4 treatments. And I think she said they'll be a month apart. $200 for each one. And then after that we'll see if it's all line free and it's beauty mist, and this is a permanent thing. And then if it's not, we'll insert 3 dots of Botox on top of that, and you should be perfect. So I'm getting ready to have the resurfacing. As a matter of fact, if they'll let me film, I'm going to take you gals with me to watch the procedure. It's a piece of cake. And, you know, and it's not that expensive either. Lovely. Okay. Next, can a person have beautiful skin in our mature life without spending thousands of dollars? Of course you can. That's a weird question. Let me explain to you. What's good for me may not be good for you. Okay? What's good for you may not be good for me. Everyone is different, and everybody's age is different. Everybody's environment is different. Everybody's genetic background is different. So all we can tell you, all the YouTubers on here, is what we do for ourselves. And if you associate with any of that, then go check it out. You got to do your research, girls. This is what I keep telling you guys. For instance, the particular eye cream maybe that I use, maybe it would not be right for you. Maybe something from Paula's Choice may be good for you, or maybe something you find in your drugstore. It depends on your age, your skin type, your environment, your genetic background. Trust me. But yes, what you need to do is take a little bit here, 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 and there. I have some subbies that use 1 or 2 medical grade products, and the rest they don't have to. because everything is blending right. You know, the most important, there's 3 important things you need. The first one, it's always going to be a serum. You've got to have a good serum. That's where you need to splurge. If you're going to splurge at all, splurge on a serum. And serums are like antioxidants, like a vitamin C. It's like TNS Essential by Skin Medica, the best in the world, but pricey. Okay, I mean, there are so many different serums. There are serums by Sunday Riley that I absolutely love, which I used to use. Believe it or not, I was always a Genifique freak, and still to this day I use my Genifique on every other night. It's full of peptides. It's wonderful. I love it. I love the product. And as far as Genifique is concerned, they've got a dupe, and it's youth code. So youth code you can get out of your drugstore. Believe it or not, it's almost the same thing, girlfriends, okay? So this is what I'm talking to you about. You've got to do your research. You've got to see what's right for you. You've got to see what you need. And if nothing else, talk to your derm. Your dermatologist will always tell you what you need and what you don't need. After that, you got to pay attention to sunscreen. Sunscreen is major, 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 major. You know that. You know what we're doing right now? We're having to spend all of these thousands of dollars, sweetheart, on the damage we boomers did to our own skin. That's why you see us on YouTube, you say, oh my gosh, this costs so much. Costs so much because we spend a lot of time destroying our skin. We baked. We put on age spots. We put on colds, moles, and sore holes. We killed our skin. So we're trying to get it back. You have to understand it is so, so important this day and time that we look really good as a boomer, and I'll tell you why. A lot of us are still working. I'm still in the working field, okay? I'm 67. I'm going to work till I drop because I enjoy working. You know, I'm a workaholic. And I am not going to be accepted in a lot of places if I look like an old dried up prune and I look old. I mean, what is my thing? What do I do? I am an empowerment coach for women. I teach them how to be beautiful inside and out. So if I walk in looking haggard and all wrinkled up like a blade print, they're going to think, lady, you need to go help yourself. Then you come back and talk to us. See what I'm saying? Women that are CEOs right now out there in public companies, they're being laid off left and right, left and right, left and right. But guess what's replacing them? And it's not all younger women. Some they're replacing with other mature women that look better, that look good. When you don't look your best, you have a tendency to look older. That's going to put you out. That's going to hold you back from raises. Everybody has done, you know, percentages and workout statistics on this for the last 8 to 10 years. You have to be on top of your game. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's not a matter of having to go out and get a whole facelift and create this. You just have to help yourself get back what you destroyed when you were young. That's all. All we're doing is enhancing where we should be at the present time normally, okay? Because look at me, I'm not 20. I don't even look 20. Guess what? I don't look 30. I don't even look 40. And I sure don't look 50 anymore. I am 67, and I may look pretty good for a 67, but let me tell you something, I'm 67. Okay, and that's not going to change. But I'm going to be the best looking 67 that walked the street. You can bet on that, sisters, okay? Okay, now, one more I think we've got down here. And you know, this is a little bit on the serious mode. This is a little toughy. I had a letter from 2 different subbies. One telling me that she was about to lose her mother, and she's flipping out. Her mother was her very best friend. Her mother has always helped her financially. Her mother was by her side. She has an incredible relationship with her mother. She is just heartbroken because she is about to lose her mother right now. And when she wrote me the letter, she says, I understand that you had lost a son. tell me how I get through this, tell me how I deal with this, because I feel like I'm going to die. And not too long before her letter, just about a week before hers, I got another one from an entirely different client that lost her son. And that was her, only son. And she was devastated, she was nearly suicidal, and she didn't know what to do, and she was just, it's incredible. It was very, very, very painful. Okay, so let me walk you through this. My son was 22 years old, and he got hit by a car. He was on his motorcycle, leaving his little part-time job, his first one in his school, and on his way to his martial arts studio to teach classes. He taught children martial arts. So he was hit by a car instantly, and it crushed his chest, and he only, I guess, stayed alive for 20 minutes before they actually pronounced him dead at the hospital. Now, I was out of town when this happened, which was not a pretty scene at all. I had just gotten into Phoenix, Scottsdale area to do a show, and this took place. There was no way I could get out fast enough to get back here. I had to wait and go on a red eye. And so basically it was almost the next morning here by the time I got home and had to deal with everything. I don't think, and I'm going to be as straight with you as I know how, ladies, and my heart goes out to you. Been there, done it, bought that t-shirt. There is no pain in the whole world like the pain of losing a child. And I feel you. Trust me. My son was my oldest and only son. So I think it's probably worse than giving natural childbirth 300 times over. And I think you all know what I'm talking about here. But there's ways that we're going to be able to deal with it. Kubler-Ross, there was a book written about the 7 steps of the death process, and we go through the different steps between the shock and the denial and the anger, and we can go on down the line. Pick up a copy. I can just tell you right now that you're going to have to take one day at a time. Just one day at a time. Don't push yourself. You need to grieve. The way I handled my grief was, I came home, I took care of everything like a trooper. We had the rosary. We had, because he was a black belt, he had a special ritual that they had to do, for a Cincy. So that was done. Then we had to have the church service. We did this. Everything happened within a day and a half, and I got back on a plane and headed all the way back to Arizona to finish my show. Because I am a professional, regardless of what I'm going through. And yes, I know they would have understood, but I stand behind my word and what I do in my contracts, so I went and finished it. Even though they shortened it for me, made it light and sweet, then I could get out of there and come back home and handle my daughter-in-law and his little grandbaby, my grandbabies there, handle Social Security, and did all the paperwork, everything that you do when something like this happens. And I'm the only one that took care of everything. So I think because I stayed so busy on the road, I think my career, because I was so engulfed in it, helped me a lot to deal with it. Now, I'm not going to tell you there's not a day that doesn't go by that you won't think about that child, because it's going to happen. Holidays are going to be miserable. You'll be going back and forth up to your abbey or your graveyard or wherever your loved one is or will be. And this is something that you must go through. You have to do it your way. No one can tell you how. I can only say you've got to take care of yourself. You've got to take care of yourself. Because there's even physical ailments that even come up with grieving. It's forgetting to eat sometimes. It's not getting enough sleep. You'll have sometimes palpitations of the heart, or you may have anxiety attacks. Don't hold any of this stuff in. Best way to do is to take care of you the best you know how, and keep as busy as you can. If you have hobbies, get involved in your hobbies. I had my work. That was my outlet, all right? And talk about your loved one. Talk about that little boy all you want. Talk with him and laugh about the funny things, you know, he did. Talk about your mom, you know, that you're ready to, you know, lose here. Just remember all the stories. Remember all the times, because that's what's going to get you through. You're going to have to work at your own pace. Don't let anybody ever tell you, well, you should be doing better now, or you should be trying to get out. Do what works for you, but you've got to take care of yourself. And you know, when my son was killed, I was a little bitty tiny thing. I mean, I was like 2'4". I noticed through the years after I had lost him, the way it was affecting me was I started putting on weight. So when we grieve, other things show up in other areas. So you want to just take care of you the best you can. That is the best advice I can give you. Don't hide the fact. If you want to scream and holler and go kick a tree, you go do that. If you want to sit there and beat on a balloon, throw a ball, I don't care what you do, but get it out of your system. You must grieve. It's only healthy to grieve. And I think what really put me at peace too, it wasn't even 3 weeks after my son had passed away that he actually came and appeared and talked to me. In our family, 5 generations of us, we've always been able to talk to the deceased, see them, have some sort of communication. You can call us mediums, you can call us channelers, that's up to you. But I'm lucky enough to have had that ability. As a matter of fact, that's how I found out about another grandchild that no one knew I had. Was because he came and told me, and how to make, you know, contact with this child to help him in some way. So it's amazing what you find out down the line. But that gave me quite a bit of peace, knowing that he was there. And if you get quiet and still, your loved one will talk to you. It'll be in your mind's eye, you know, it'll be in your head, and it'll sound like yourself talking to yourself, but it's not. That's just the only way they know how to communicate with you. So my heart goes out to you, and I love you both, and believe it or not, you're going to make it through this. You will. It's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, and it's heartbreaking. I can tell you it is. But you will make it through. I can tell you this, after 3 months, you'll be able to breathe a little better. After a year, you'll be able to function pretty well, where you're not breaking down constantly. And about 3 years after that, you'll feel like your heart is somewhat mended, and you'll be accepting of it. So it does take time, but just go with the flow, and I love you so much. And I'm so sorry for your losses, and I'm so sorry for your mother being in such bad shape and getting ready to pass on. I know it's hard. But we love you, and our prayers are with you both. Mwah! Ladies, you're so precious. Okay. One more question. Dear Sharon, I have heard that you YouTubers all talk about each other behind each other's backs. What is going on? That reaches out to your subbies. I want you to know these YouTubers even talk to their subbies about all of you all. Okay, well, I don't know where your question is with this, other than it's kind of a rant. And you know, that's a shame. Because believe it or not, in our community, we're all crazy about each other. We're real tight. It's kind of like a sisterhood. If you've heard any gossip or anything, just blow it off. It's no big thing, okay? We're not children. We're mature ladies here. We really do care about each other. Personally, I don't get involved in any of that garbage. You just got to let it pass. It's no one's business. And, you know, we're not kids, but if something has come up between us and somebody can talk it over with another YouTuber if they have an issue, that's their business. But I don't know how a subby, you know, another subby that's not a YouTuber would know about all this, but it shall pass, honey. Just consider this, it's sisters having a little tiff and they'll get over it. Don't let it get to you, but no, that is not common in our mature community at all. I want you to know. We are grown-ass women, honey, and we don't even play that game, so there. Okay, ladies, I want to thank you so much for all your questions this week. This has been fun, and I appreciate it so much. Thanks to all of you. I do want to tell you that the big giveaway is coming up, and I'll be announcing that in a video next week. So, to all of you, give me a big thumbs up on this Q&A today, and I want you to stay sassy, classy, and confident till I talk to you next week.